morning, good day, good being back.
Happy New Year, I guess.
Oh, yes,
Happy
2024.
February.
Happy everything.
You are here with the real therapist for the culture.
Yeah,
I
you
am
are.
Dr. L.
And I am Sophia.
We're back.
We're fucking back.
We didn't leave on purpose, but life happens.
Life
right?
happens. I just said it was 7 months. I went to YouTube to see what was our last recording, and I'm like, my heart started beating fast. Like, 7 months? We've never been away that long.
No, we haven't.
I think it still warrants like an apology, even though it's like life
we
happens.
apologizing to? Them?
To our listeners, to people who was in our DMs, like, what's up? Like, I need some more. I do, as I say, I apologize. I also want to say thank you, because those DMs kept that fire under our ass. Because this is definitely one of our passions, what we
Yes.
love. But we also are moms and professors and entrepreneurs and therapists
all
and
the
life
things,
coaches
right.
and aunts and this and that. Tons of hats we wear. But thank you for many people hitting us up saying that they went back to listen to things and
That they missed us.
Exactly.
Where
and
y'all
that kept
been.
you afloat for
Yes.
a little while. So thank you for really holding it down. Because in this culture, you don't post for 2 days and you forgot about.
You are forgotten. You are part of the forgotten folks. And so, yes.
On to the next, quick.
Absolutely.
And you guys have been rocking with us 5 solid years. This May will be 6 years.
Really?
Yeah. That's a big deal.
Well, yes. So, yes, Sophia's
me
right. We do
emotional.
need to absolutely warrant an apology. I think it goes into like 7 months sounds like a really long time, right? But at the same time goes by so fast.
Yeah, we're in February already. I felt like I literally looked over to my family and said, Happy New Year.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
here we are going to be in spring, and these kids will be out of school again. Why aren't we adapting other countries and cultures with the going to school all year? How?
I don't want to do that though.
I think so. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to. You screeching and scrooching? Be still, bro.
I do want that for them. I do, because I really feel like they're not as smart. So I don't think they should be out of school this long.
Okay.
I digress, but it is February already.
Before we get started though, one of our episode last New Year's 2023, we talked about intentions. What is, or have you identified your intention for 2024?
I have, and it's personal again. And I say again because that was my intention for last year, that I really needed to zone in on me. So it is my deepest and heartfelt intention to curate this very personal relationship with myself by removing negative thoughts and chasing perfection, by staying focused on my spiritual practice, honoring myself, being comfortable with saying no, for the hopes of feeling whole. That's my exact intention.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you. What about you? We 2 months in.
And so, I remember when we did that episode on perfection, and you were like, does perfectionism show up in your life? I'm like, in certain things, certain types of things.
You said no pretty quickly.
I said no quickly, but I was like, in certain type of things. But this year I am being intentional about forgiving myself, and forgiving myself every day if I feel like, and I really don't believe in regrets, but if I feel like I fell short in a type of way, because sometimes being hard on ourselves, it lingers. It lingers and it interrupts so many other processes and so many other opportunities for growth. Yeah. And so I really want to engage in and forgiveness and living on purpose every single day, despite how I feel.
I like that.
And so
I love that.
that's it.
Self-forgiveness is everything.
Yeah.
I do practice it every day. Like
Yeah.
from something mild to something major.
Yeah.
I literally make the statement, I forgive myself for blank every day.
Every day. And I'm going to give myself the grace that I offer so many other people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And I think let's check in with that quarterly.
Okay.
So I heard what yours is and you heard mine. So quarterly, it's
Okay.
like, how are you doing with self-forgiveness? All right, good. So I'm bringing the topic as I chuckle because not being in the studio for 7 months, I was like, that anxiety was creeping back in. I'm like, I don't know. It's so much things happening in the world. Krishan got another tattoo, a blue face on her face.
That's got to be a part 2. Somebody put a meme out like, dear algorithms, can you please remove Krishan Rock from my my feed?
Yeah, somebody said, can you unfollow her for me? And I don't even follow her. So yeah, it's massive stuff that's happening in our country, and I was stuck. I really had decision paralysis. But then when I woke up this morning and just let spirit do what it's doing, as I look at my child, figure out which coat he was gonna put on and what sneakers should I wear, I'm like, oh, I forgot. What we wanted to talk about is, are you raising privileged children? That's what we talking about today. And I get some of you listeners who don't have children, but are you raising privileged nieces and nephews or godkids? Like, don't feel like this episode isn't for you because
Are you a teacher with buying into privileged students, giving them extra time and allowing them a whole day to make up work?
Because you like their Zara jacket.
Because they're so cute and little.
Yeah, like, so please do not think that this isn't for you. This is for everybody. So, are you raising a privileged child?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Jesus.
That felt so freeing.
Did it? Yeah.
Like I felt it. I am. Can you ask me another question though?
No. I want to just sit with that. Like, what's the other question you wanted me to ask? Because what's happening, and this is what we're going to do in this, is that sometimes people will use privilege to equal spoiled or entitlement, and they are not the same.
They're not the same. I agree.
So before we go into that, you said ask another question. What?
I wanted you to ask me if I was doing it on purpose.
Oh. Are you doing it on purpose?
No.
Yeah, I don't buy that. Everything is intentional. Everything is on purpose. So what do you mean you're not doing it on purpose?
Because the intention is not for privilege to be on the other side of whatever it is that I'm offering, providing, creating, curating, whatever. Like that's not the intention. And I think that's the hard part about this thing is that we'll just be living life, and your kids will say something to you, and it's like and it makes you do a double take, like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But so the thing about it is, I hear what you're saying. And I think this is going to be good because we're going to go back and forth with this. Because your kid is 11 now. So maybe the first 2-3 years, right? You're just doting on this kid. It's your first kid and you are just living life. However, 7 more years, you still haven't realized that you are raising a privileged child?
I didn't say, you said, did I not realize it?
Am I doing it on purpose? And I said everything.
So that's the problem, is that at this point, you've curated a lifestyle. You curated a lifestyle, right? Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, you ready for examples?
I want to know before we go into examples, because we definitely, between the bulk of these kids, we have tons, right? What was that statement for you where you did the, oh, shit, you are privileged or entitled or spoiled? what was that statement? Do you recall it? Because most parents remember where it was like, it was this for me. And tell me if you don't have one, and I'll tell you mine.
Okay. I don't know if this was the first one, but this is the first one that comes to my mind.
Okay.
That was a couple of years ago, right? So we talking 9 maybe, right? The kid is at dance school, and everybody needs a little water, and so the dance school offered them some water out of the tap or something, out the sink. I don't know, and she was like, I don't drink water out of the sink. Do you guys? And she went in this whole dissertation to her peers about, should never, why would you be drinking water out of the sink? And this whole thing about alkaline water. And I was like, I was embarrassed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, sis, you don't live in Flint. What are you talking about? Like, right. But that's a good one. For me, so ZJ just turned 10 a few days ago. So this was maybe around 5. We were in New York, and we were at a family's house, and it was an apartment. And he said, I need to use the bathroom. I was like, okay. And he was like, someone's in there. I'm like, oh, okay, wait. And he was like, what you mean? They don't have more than one? I was like, more than one what? They don't have more than one bathroom? I was like, oh, wow. I was like, no. He was going crazy. Like, so if you have to poop, you telling me you have to wait for that person to finish pooping or to get out the shower for me to go to the bathroom? I was like, yeah, sir, that's how I grew up. And your dad had tons of people in his house. Like, and, my husband just shook his head, and I, like, felt nauseous. And he was loud. Kids are, like, privileged and entitled kids are usually they could be obnoxious because they are unaware that they are privileged, right? So it's like, first I didn't hear, but he was asking the person, where's the other bathroom, loud. And I'm like, oh, you don't have another bathroom? It was embarrassing. That was the moment for me.
And that's not on purpose.
No. Well,
you know what I mean? You've curated a lifestyle by, providing a home, and not on purpose, your home has multiple bathrooms, right?
My first home didn't have multiple bathrooms, actually. But he was so young, I guess he didn't know. And right. I guess it was only a few people. They didn't run into that often. But my starter home had one bathroom.
But still, you when you went to buy your house, you didn't say, oh, let me make sure it's only one bathroom so this kid stay humble. Yeah. Not on purpose.
It starts out not on purpose, but then once you know what you're doing, what do you do?
Can we just agree that some of the things have not been on purpose, and some of the things have been just monsters that we created?
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So privilege is about unearned advantages, certain benefits or protections given to someone based on power or proximity to power. So they don't have no power. Is due to the parents, right? Entitlement is about these expectations, the inflated sense of deservingness. It was that word right there that took me out. Deservingness one has as a result of power and the benefits of privilege. So what isn't on purpose, I feel, is the privilege. The entitlement starts to be on purpose, because how often would you say you play into, well, you deserve this?
The real question is, how often do I play into it and they ass don't deserve it?
That part too. Because according to Psychology Today and Raising Little People, that they shouldn't be rewarded for things that they're supposed to do.
So I will say that is how I was raised.
Yes, you say that all the time.
I say that all the time. My father was like, I am not rewarding you for doing well in school. That is your only job as a kid. I'm not paying you to clean your room. That's your room. You live here. I pay the bills here. This is your part, right?
Yeah.
And so, yes, that thing I don't really do, right?
You don't reward.
No.
Okay.
No. It's not like, oh, you got an A. Come on, I'm about to take you to this thing.
Yeah,
no.
that's how Gail was.
Not at
Every
all.
A, even in college, like my friends would crack jokes like, "Did your mother just Western Union you $100 for that A?" Because I would be like, "Come with me to Western Union." They'd be like, "Who's sending you money?" My mom, because I got a 98 on my psychology exam, and it was like, you cannot be serious.
No.
It was very specific like that. I don't do it that specific, but I may say, you know, you rock it. You've been cleaning your room. Your grades are good. I might list multiple things. Let's go to Target. Let's do this. Let's do that. But I don't do every A you get blank. It was every A was a $50 in 7th grade or
Yeah, no.
25 in middle school.
No, and I'm careful about the chores that I pay for too.
Tell me more about that. Which ones you pay for and the ones you don't.
So the money that Journey earns at the end of the week is not for like cleaning your room, cleaning up after yourself, those types of things. So what she does do is she brings the trash cans back inside, and I don't want to do that, and I really don't want her doing it either, but she does. So that type of stuff, yes. When my niece and my cousin, my little cousin was there, I gave all of them a task. So they was washing windows, they was wiping my walls down.
Yeah,
I will pay for those type of things, but I'm not paying you to clean the bathroom that only you use.
Okay,
I'm
got you.
not paying you to do that.
Yeah. So I stopped paying for all chores.
Oh.
Every last one.
Good.
You live here.
Good.
You live
Good.
here. Keep up your space because it's particularly, you know, I guess another topic is how you raise an entitled kids with disabilities because Cameron is like, don't worry about it, Cam. But Cam is a cleaner. She cleans up after her little cousin, her brothers. Like, she likes that. The joke is we think she will be a good bus girl. Not a waitress because she removes the plate sometimes when you're still eating, but she will bust the table down faster than these typically developed people, right? But my son, it's like I have this thing in my head that is purposeful that I just don't want a woman to say who raised you. Like, you just nasty. You don't know how to clean up after yourself. You piss on the toilet. So that is in my mind a lot. So I'm like, I'm not paying you to keep up your space, your house, your bathroom.
Yes.
Your, like, no, your dog.
The privilege, though, is that you have your own bathroom.
That part. It's
that
like,
shit.
yeah, I'm not paying for any of that anymore. I used to do it on Go Henry weekly, and it's like, I did stop that.
Good.
So
Good.
Grades is a little hard because I do feel like school is challenging. I really do feel that way. So I get that it's like that's their only job. That's what they're supposed to do. But it's like, are you banging out these A's and B's and, you know, you got this social pressure and now you in a whole new curriculum. You was on virtual for 2.5 years. I do reward school, but no, not chores anymore. So I think for me, this topic came up is because coming across adults that's entitled, like just feel like someone owes them something. And that's when you and I was having this conversation last year, like, what are we going to do to make sure that we are not raising privileged children who grow up feeling entitled? What are things you put in place to kind of put something in between that? Because you can't stop your lifestyle, right? It's like these kids travel, they have certain things, they live in a home with more than one bathroom possibly. Like somebody else, and everything is not even on you, right? Like you have family members who's like, oh, I picked up Journey a pair of sneakers or this and that. So you having 7, I didn't buy all 7 of those sneakers.
Yeah.
But what are you doing to make sure that you are just not raising these kind of adults that's like, yuck?
So I think that it's a couple things. So we were talking the other day about like just the things that we buy our kids, right? And so I was telling Soph, and so let me go back. Last week, Dawn Staley, you know Dawn Staley, WNBA?
Yes.
So she had posted this meme that basically said parents need to stop trying to protect their kids from the pains of their childhood, because that's what it's resulting in. Entitlement, privileged children.
Exactly.
Right? And when someone asked me what my opinion was, I said, I agree. I said, we do things that is it's a result of how we grew up, but we have to be strategic and still trying to make sure our kids get the lessons that we got, right? And so I always tell people, you know, my mom loved shopping at like thrift stores, garage sales. I hate it. I feel like it traumatized me. It's hard for me to go into Goodwill. And people are like, let's go thrifting. And I'm just, I go in there I smell it. I get fucking flashbacks from being in the basement.
It does have a smell. That's weird,
they
right?
all have the
wonder
same
what that is.
old ass smell, like mothballs or something like that.
I don't even know if it's mothballs, but it is a very unique smell.
I don't know what the fuck it is, but I promise you, every single time I walk into a Goodwill, I have flashbacks of Blessed Sacrament. It was a Catholic church, and we went down in a dark ass basement to their little thrift store thing, right? And as I grew up, I was like, fuck that. I'm buying whatever I want, whatever. And that's how I've raised Journey, right? And so
and that's not on purpose?
So, but you asked me, the question was, what do you do? So I buy things. I buy multiple pairs of shoes. You have an array of coats to choose from, right? Things,
saying this,
right? Oh, what shoe should I wear? Shit, me, I had one choice, and that was the choice, right? And so, to keep her humble, I don't tell her when I buy things. It's just there, right? So I don't ever want to say, oh, and I got this new and da da da. She didn't, for a long time, she didn't even know shit was new. I could tell you today she got new shit in her closet. She doesn't know that it's there. She doesn't know that it's there. So for me, not putting emphasis on labels or even like making it a big deal that, hey, you got something new, it keeps her humble. That's kind of what I try to do.
Yeah, got you. Yeah.
And so she don't even ask, to be honest.
So, and that gets tricky, right? Because in the same breath,
it creates privilege.
Oh, okay. And I don't want to throw you under the bus, but we the real therapists for culture, so we have to. Because then in the same breath, you say she don't take care of shit, right?
Exactly.
So
you're right.
It's like, I don't want to tell you the value of this.
So she's not going to value it.
Exactly, right? So I don't know if this came from Five and Below or if this came from Bloomingdale's. You know, I don't know. But then the parent will flip out because that t-shirt was $150. It's like, pick a struggle. You confusing these kids. So it's like, and I joke, my godson used to, my first godchild actually, he would say, oh God, mommy, I can't mess up my Dizou jeans. And I will call his mother flipping out. Like, he's 4. Like, why does he know that his jeans are Dizou or Evisu? Like, what are you doing? And she say, did you hear what he said? I bet you he wasn't jumping on the floor, acting a fool, and coming home with holes in them. And I was like, I get it, but he's also 4, and now he's not having fun. Because my mother's rule used to be, if you didn't come home dirty, you didn't have fun. So one of the things that I do is I pick and choose. I buy Cat and Jack, Target jeans, and that's what you're going to wear to school. Because when you come home with a hole in them, I'm not mad. Because they were $15. Opposed to, I don't know, polo jeans might be $89 or whatever name brand. And now I am upset. And this kid doesn't know why.
Right.
I feel like that's not fair. So I feel like as the adult, find a balance and not only buy the expensive stuff and then say, I'm not going to tell you the label or the name, the amount. and then cursing the kid out.
Yeah.
But I get it, though. I get it. That is a way to keep a kid humble with not knowing. I don't know how long that lasts because these kids know a lot.
I mean, she's
you got a Stanley Cup. Oh, you got this. You got that. They know stuff from TikTok to the world.
Yes.
So it's like you can't even keep that up for so long. One of the things that I do try to do, because I do realize some of this privilege, entitlement, spoiledness that my kids have, is parenting a version of myself and not my children, right? So say you say in this whole thing like the thrift shop, I would never take my kids there, or they should never have to do that. Zara Journey calls herself like the Zara queen, like she already knows.
She wrote a rap last week.
Oh wow, we need,
and she's the drip princess.
Oh, we need that. We need that. That is the stamp of a privileged kid. Spit your bars, sis.
Drip princess. Yeah.
So, some of that, yes, don't get me wrong. I feel like some of this is a lifestyle, but some of this is parents trying to parent that younger version. I wish I had more options as a kid. My kid ain't never gonna want for nothing. We ain't never gonna have what my husband told me he ate before.
Spam?
No, syrup sandwiches. He had my son eat it, and my son loves it. To him, it tastes like a uncooked French toast. And his dad is like, no, this is what I had to eat at times. And he like, well, these are good. Can you make me another one? Like, so it's like trying to do that. Oh, my kid is never going to have the struggles that I had. Like, you missing the kid. What if Journey saw on TikTok, there is a thrift day, and now you don't want to go because baby Shug is traumatized of thrift shops? So that's one way I feel like you could practice not making sure that you are not missing the kid opposed to this younger version of you.
So that's why I say, being strategic also about it. But some things we just can't help.
Why you keep saying that?
Because even in line with privilege, like I think that eating organic food is a privilege, right? It's an unearned, opportunity, right? Because everybody can't eat organic foods. Everybody is not able to eat organic foods, and
but
so
that is. Like,
you know what I mean?
Vital too nowadays with what they saying. Oh, the pesticides and this is in that. Is it privilege or is it?
It's privilege.
More of a health choice too now.
It's privilege because some people want to buy organic and maybe they just can't buy organic.
Well,
right?
Farmers markets,
or even I'll take it a step backwards. In my mother's house, we ate vegetables out of the can.
Yeah.
Right?
I still do it occasionally. So
there's no canned vegetables in my house. Mm-hmm. There's not one. There's some beans in there. There's beans, and it might be a can of corn because I made corn pudding or something, and it calls for canned corn, right? It's frozen vegetables or it's fresh vegetables.
Yeah.
Right? If I open up a bag of broccoli cuts, Journey gonna be like, what the fuck is this? Broccoli cuts don't have no florets in it. Mm-hmm. She gonna be like, what is this? A bunch of stems and sticks?
Yeah.
Right?
But it's like, once my thing is becoming responsible parents, once you heard that, how do you come behind and say, do you have a conversation, or you be like, oh girl, I'm sorry, I picked up the wrong one? Do you say, like, I had a conversation, so I didn't do it that day with my son in front of everyone, but on the drive back, I said, the way you yelled at this person about having one bathroom, that could have hurt their feelings. That was a bit insensitive. And yeah, he was 5, but I need to have those kind of conversations because yes, you privilege based off of me, champ.
Oh,
nothing you're doing is warranting nothing, right? So
Absolutely.
First of all, your privilege is 100% because I'm the plug. So that's that. But teaching a level of sensitivity, understanding that what you have, because that's the thing about privilege, right? And then the entitlement of this deservingness, that you feel like, oh, everyone has it, so it's not a big deal. No. Value what you have, because this is a big deal. You having more than one bathroom, that is a big deal, and never make someone feel less than you because they only have one. So at 5, now, what did that conversation do? I don't know. Maybe we'll see it later in life,
right.
But I feel like it's important to make sure that you're pointing it out. So, and not in a attacking, accusatory, because they are just a byproduct of what we created,
it's
right?
Increasing the awareness, right?
That's it.
Right.
So that you can have, because remember what I said is, what are you doing to make sure that we are not raising this adult? What it is
the
now.
Entitled adult.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Like, what are you doing?
So those are the conversations that we definitely have started to have. And still having those conversations, not creating, and having the conversations in a way that doesn't create a thought that I have more than this person, or I'm better than this person, because that's always what my goal is. And so I have absolutely been trying to be strategic in saying, like, hey, like, just because this is your life doesn't mean that's somebody else's life too. And you can't make those assumptions.
Yeah.
And that's how I try to say it, as opposed to saying, oh, well, you should say this to these kids when they ask you, like, yeah, I don't want her to be that person. I just don't want her to be that person.
And another thing is kind of like what Dawn Stanley said. This whole savior mentality, again, for me, it comes back to mothering your inner child kind of thing, where you feel like you have to swoop in and save your kid from everything. That creates entitlement. So now at 20, 25, you can't even articulate with your professor about, hey, can I have some extended time for this exam? Or you got to call your parent to do that, to make an appointment for your grown child, or handle a dispute at work. Hey, can you write this email up for me? I had a situation with my oldest, and I had to pray like intensely, because there was a part of me, do I intervene with this university, or I let this kid deal with the consequences? So I end up coming up with a split, that because they asked for the parent involvement. So once the person asked for the parent involvement, I'm like, okay, bet, but you're gonna deal with this consequences. You're gonna pay this fine. You're gonna do this letter. My hands is off.
Yeah.
Because I just feel some type of way when 22 adults have to contact their parent to handle everything.
Yeah.
And I heard this thing the other day. She's an author. She was talking to Oprah, and she was saying, stop seeking validity through your children. It's one thing to provide advice and opinions at time, but again, you got this kid who's getting older, and you thrive off of feeling valid or needed, that you constantly just keep doing it instead of cutting the cord. And it took me out. And I'm like, and she said, you think I don't enjoy when my 23-year-old call and ask? But I have to check me to make sure that it's not just my ego wanting to be needed. Do not seek validation from your children.
Absolutely.
So I feel like it gets intertwined. That privilege, that entitlement, all of those things you do so that they could feel like they need you. And then you wonder why you have a codependent relationship with your grown child.
Codependent relationship with your entitled child.
Add that. So you're like, wondering why they having tantrums at 29.
Absolutely.
Because you said, I'm not paying your car note. I'm not paying your insurance. My oldest is about to be 20, and I am strategically in my mind saying, when am I going to put this phone bill fully on her? It's going to come to me. I'm not paying her phone bill past 21. I'm not. Now, if she's in some kind of distress and that kind of thing, but fully working in school, I'm not, and I'm clear about it. So for me, the way that I am slowly cutting the cord to hopefully raise these, because kids are really like cavemen. Like, that's why you have to teach them how to say thank you, please, because they are just wow.
They're definitely wild.
So it's like that, teaching them pro-social skills. There are people who would just walk in somewhere and don't say hello. And it's like,
they're definitely wild. They're
again, that's training kids
crazy.
to be like, I don't have to speak.
Right,
Like, huh?
right.
Or I got a gift and felt the need that, I used to say that to my kids. Did you say thank you to such and such for Christmas? And they'll be like, oh, I forgot. Okay, well, put it on the counter. And one time somebody challenged me and was like, you didn't even buy it. Yeah, but
it's still, so that's
work.
the thing.
They
You got to
use
teach the
their
lessons.
hard-earned money to purchase you something. You are not their child. They didn't have to do that for you. And 2 days went past and you didn't even say thank you. Put it on the dresser.
Yeah,
That's it. And I'll tell you when you could get it back. And then still make sure that you go say thank you. So that kind of stuff does happen where it's like, how you just feel like somebody owe you something because you think all my friends is the money team. So they just sending you $100 for your 10th birthday. Like, that's not normal. When I was 10, people may give you $5 or $10 for your birthday when I run across some of my mother friends. If that.
Right.
So it's those kind of conversations, it's those kind of lessons, and really kind of gauging what this looks like. But at some point, it is on purpose. So let me see what else I put on my list.
Maybe.
Stop intervening in all consequences. Like, yes, those major ones, you got to gauge. You are the president. You are the parent, right? But some of the saving that you are doing, you creating a monster at 25.
So let me tell you. I'm going to tell you. I have an example for that one. So, I was looking on the Schoology thing, probably first quarter, and Journey had she had these missing assignments, and I kept telling her like, hey, are you missing these assignments because you didn't do them, or does the teacher still need to grade the assignment? And she's like, I don't know. So I'm like coaching her and prompting her on how to approach this teacher, and we did that for like about a week, and I'm like, so what did she say? Well, she didn't talk to me. So I was like, well, you need to either get to class a little bit earlier, and this is 5th grade, right? You need to get to class a little bit earlier. You need to do it either on your way out the class, or you sending her a message through the Schoology thing. And so after about a week of me not getting answers, I was fed the fuck up. So I reached out to the teacher because I wanted the answers for myself. And so what the teacher disclosed to me, and she was trying not to tell, but in me just being who I am and reading between the lines, she's like, well, I gave all of the kids an opportunity to make up one missed assignment and to improve one grade. And Journey had that opportunity. And she kept saying Journey had the opportunity. I'm like, so what is you saying? Like, What was Journey doing while everybody else was taking advantage of this opportunity? And she's like, I'm really not sure.
Oh, okay.
This is like, she's going back and forth with me at like 10 o'clock at night. First thing in the morning, I'm on it like, so what was you doing in class, right? The case in point was, what I told the teacher was, I said, I know today is the last day of the quarter, but I'm still prompting Journey to do these assignments. I am okay with you not giving her credit for them, but I need her to understand that you don't just not do assignments. So yes, your ass is going to do every single one of those assignments that you need to do, and you're getting no credit for them at this point, but you're still going to do them. And to me, that's how I needed to teach the lesson. You know what I mean? And I didn't want the teacher to think like, oh, give her one more chance. I wasn't doing that. As much as I did not like the fact that she had these missing grades and it affected the overall average, I was like, I absolutely am not, because that creates entitlement. That sends a message of you can do shit when you want to and still get credit for it. And you just can't. You know what I mean?
Yep. And so another thing of trying to, not end up with these entitled or privileged adults is even early ages, start to let these kids problem solve. So not only like, oh, okay, I'm gonna avoid these consequences, but even asking, so what you think? How you think we should handle the situation with the teacher? I do that with the kids before. Again, I reference that oldest because she'll be like, what you think I should do? Tell me what you think you should do. It's your job. It's your class. Let's start there. I have no problem with advising, but I can't dictate this whole thing because that's going to enable you feeling like somebody's always going to tell you what to do. That's the deservingness. That's the entitled piece, right? So letting them, attempt at all ages problem solve. We do it with kids, like the Melissa and Doug thing for the box. You sit there. This kid is trying to put the square in the triangle. They tell you, let them try that.
Until they figure it out.
And they keep going. And sometimes a kid will get frustrated. And what are you doing? You're coaching on the side. You could do it. Come on, look at it. Look at the corners. You got this. It's so hard. But many parents want to come, turn it, and put their hand next to that one. What they call it, hand over hand, right? It's like, no, let them try a little bit. And of course, if it's too much distress, you do come in and then let them try again. But we have all these little toys and stuff that's been showing us, let these kids problem solve. Another thing that I think is important to kind of counter some of this privilege entitledness is the importance of family. And because what they say is research shows that most entitled privileged people are very selfish and really about them. And then family kind of comes second. Like, I'm going to make sure I'm good first. And then, let me check for my peoples. Let me check on my siblings.
Yes.
Let me, but when you encourage a sense of family, we're going to eat together, we're going to hang out together, without it just being about extracurricular activity, it's like, they start to really understand that family is important. And not that self isn't, but it is important as well.
Yes. That's something that we're actively working on now.
Nice.
And not family not necessarily in the sense of the entire extended family, being as though it's just myself and Journey. What I have said about, because some of her privilege is from being an only child, right?
It's a lot that comes with that just naturally.
Right? And so if we were going out to eat, when I was a kid, we had to take turns whose choice it was. And so it's my sister's turn, and then it's my turn, and she liked Burger King. I don't like Burger King French fries, but hey, we had to compromise, and we had to do that, right? She doesn't have to, because it's just her. And I'm not a part of it. Like, I don't eat Chick-fil-A like that, but you want to go to Chick-fil-A? We go to Chick-fil-A, and I'll figure something out for myself, right? It creates a privilege. That kid expects Chick-fil-A every damn Friday for the past 5 years of her fucking life, right? And so, even with sharing too. And so, I've been having these conversations with her because, when I buy groceries, I'll say, what do you need? And so she'll go through the things that she, her staple items, her chips, her Eggos, whatever it is that's on her radar. And she'll see me having some Eggo, and she'll be like, you eating my Eggos? And I'm like, they're not yours. Right? Or if there's something, she'll eat the last of it, and she won't ask me, and I'm like, she's like, well, you don't eat that all the time. And I'm like, yeah, but it's okay to ask. And so we've been having these conversations about just think, it just shows that you're thinking about somebody else. And so yesterday, I guess her dad took her to Cinnaholic before they went to dance. And she was like, it slipped out. And I was like, oh, y'all went to Cinnaholic? She was like, oh yeah. And I was like, did you get me something? I knew you were gonna say that. I forgot to mention. I mean, I didn't have any money. I said, all it says is, hey, I think my mom would like something. I want to get my mom something, right? Like, it's just about thinking about somebody other than yourself, and how can you do that? And she's working on it. And I told her yesterday. I said, we had got some Sonny's chicken in the office last week.
Sunny Northwood Sunnies?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I had the sunny sauce and everything.
Ooh.
Right?
That sounds really exciting.
And I had 2 pieces of chicken left, and it was in the refrigerator. She opened the fridge, and she was like, what's this checker box? And I was like, it's my chicken. She opened it. She's like, is this sauce? You know, I'm a dipper. My kid is she's a fanatic ass dipper. She's like, what's this sauce? And I'm like, it's sunny sauce. And she was like, you want it? And I was like, you can have it. And she was like, no.
Oh, gosh.
You want it? You can. No, I won't take it from you. I was like, go ahead, Jerry. You can have it. You can have it. Yo, sis put it in the microwave. She wrapped it in foil, put it in her lunchbox. She's like, eating this at lunchtime. Like,
no, that is good. These two kind of go a little hand in hand, but I'm not gonna lie. I thought about you with this one. It says, do not create a kid-centric family.
what does that mean?
Well, you know what centric means. So kid-centric, that it's all about the kid.
Why you thought about me, though?
Because most of your life, like, it was all about your kid, right?
Oh, okay.
And it's like, that teaches entitlement. That is a little challenging with a only kid. I will give you that. My mother, even with me in my 40s, sometimes she would act like it's just about me. And even when... I'm sorry.
Chuckle.
I'm
Chuckle.
sorry. I'm
the
putting,
chuckle. After the chuckle
because
comes the
I don't be
bullshit.
trying to talk about
Just
family,
understand.
but parents, they off limits, but they are on limits, right? But when she was dating, that's what reminded me. Oh shit! I'm still entitled. I'm like, what? Who is this? Like, my husband had to pull my curtail. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why aren't you happy? I'm like, no, it's about my kids. And then he was like, you or your kids? Because your kids are never gonna not be on her radar. Like, what are you talking about? And it hit me like, oh my God, it's been about me. And then my kids came about them, but ultimately about me. And now you're in a relationship. Like, sis, what are you doing? It reminded me how entitled I was, and I had to be checked to remind that still shows up because I grew up in a very kid-centric family. Only kid with my mother, only grandkid, only niece. It was all about this one kid.
So what are you supposed to do? Go have more kids?
So that's why I said these last 2 points kind of go hand in hand. So it's not about having more kids, genius, but the boundaries that you put in place about it, right? Like, so when you went away and your kid had a hard time, I wasn't sure if you was gonna get on that plane. I prayed so intensely. You would have thought that this was about cancer or something. I was praying like angels, her angels, get her on a plane so that this will start to teach this kid a boundary of my mother is gonna take care of her. And you do. You get your nails done, your hair done, but it's like little spurts. But to go away and that kid saying, oh, I'm not good with that.
That was... Okay, fine.
I'm not coming for you, right?
No,
I'm just saying, the kid-centric family plays a huge part in creating privileged, entitled kids.
Absolutely
Their
agree.
extracurriculum activities, what they need, it teaches the kid, like, everything is about me. When I go grocery shopping, it's like, oh, I got to make sure everything that's on your list. I spend 30 hours a week at basketball, swimming, football camps, and they see this little space for you. How could that not make a kid grow up to be like, in a relationship? What you mean you going to the gym?
Oh,
What you mean you going on a boys trip? Like, no, everything is about me, bro.
So my daughter definitely said...
But can you see it first before
Absolutely.
you... Okay.
Absolutely. But it's not on purpose.
Oh, wow.
That's gonna be the
end of this,
that's gonna be the soundbite of this episode.
It's not on purpose.
Because my daughter is, and it's very apparent. At 11 years old, she was like, "You don't need no man. You got me." I swear, she's like, "You got me and the dogs." Marley is on his 14th year of life.
That's a blessing. We, bless you, Marley. 14 years.
You know what I mean? Like, she has said it, and when she said it, I was like,
she was serious.
She was dead ass serious. And I just was like, I don't even think I said anything about it.
You didn't. Because I asked. I said, what you said to that? You said, what was I supposed to say to that therapist? What was I supposed to say? I'm like, say something. You're like, I'm not supposed to go back now? Like, yes.
Oh, and about that thing you said.
Right. But yes, creating a kid-centric family.
Yeah, that's not on purpose. Yeah, it's on purpose.
I feel like with this blended family that I have, there are times that ZJ could feel like he's the only kid. You know, Cam goes with her dad several days a week. My other children, you know, they are in their primary home. So it's like he's there a good amount of time alone. And I have to remind him, like, if it's like, oh, you missing football practice, he'd be like, oh, nah, I can't. You are. And it's okay. No, I might not start. I'm sorry, but this is a priority, and that's that. And I will feel guilty at times, but creating that boundary of certain things come first. Everything isn't about you, kid. If you don't start, you don't start, champ. We still gonna go and support the team and watch you come in second quarter, but it's not completely about you. So as I was reading it, I'm like, we say that these children are very egocentric, but we play into it.
I'll just have another kid.
Don't ask me to be the godmother.
Fuck. What?
I thought you were going to say you don't want to be in a wedding. You don't want to be a godmother. I'm just going to be Auntie Soph. And I mean, that works. Kids think
I don't care.
Privileged because I'm aunt.
But so that's okay. So okay, there's a whole nother fucking example. A couple weeks ago, it was Soph's birthday. Happy belated.
Thank you.
I mean, I already said happy birthday, but I'm just like, I'm saying belated here. But anywho, this is a bad story to tell. Journey was like,
5 minutes left, so go ahead. Just
Journey
go
was
ahead.
like, I'm craving a crab boil. Like, you don't ask for regular fucking shit. Like,
exactly.
Sis don't eat Wendy's. Sis don't eat Taco Bell. She does eat McDonald's, but that's her last choice, right? But sis was like, I really want a crab boil. And I was like, well, I'm not doing it. I was like, I don't have the money. I'm not doing it, Journey. I don't know why you just don't know how to ask for regular shit. Get all my fucking soapbox. Sis did not hear a thing I fucking said. She started calling her fucking lifelines. You hear me? Calling her fucking lifelines. And some people, she didn't even get through to them. She was like, hey, do you have $40? So I could get a crab boil? And they're like, Journey, where's your mother? She was like, she's right here. So she's like, I'm about to call Soph. I was like, you're not about to call my friend. Today is her birthday. And she was like, oh. Well, maybe I'll try her tomorrow. I was like, and my friend is in France. She was like, what is she doing in France? I need to go to France. And it was just the whole conversation was yucky. Yeah. The worst part of the conversation is she got her crab boil this week.
Exactly. That's the thing. So the last point is be consistent with what you say too. I sent one of my good girlfriends a meme. The mother was on the couch and was like, if you think I'm gonna be your taxi all weekend, I'm not. And then they in the car like, well, what time you think the movie gonna end? And then she looks over to the son and is like, and if you think I'm gonna give you money for you to get nachos, chicken fingers, and popcorn, I'm not. They pull up to the movie. The mom like, well, here's $30. You better make it work. And then she's like, and if you think I'm going to be sitting in this car for this 2-hour movie, I am not. She like, damn, how many more minutes is until this movie is over? And that's what happens with privileged, entitled, spoiled kids. We'll say what we're not going to do and turn right around and do it. Now, that was amazing that you didn't pay for it. Or did you? Because you said she got it. Was it you?
It was a week later, though. So... It was a week later.
Oh my God.
And the fucked up thing about it, y'all, we all about transparency here because I like a good crab boil. But my crab boil gotta have a lobster tail in it. Like, so hers is 40, mine is 50. That put us at $100 for dinner, right?
Exactly.
Easy, right? And so the worst part about this, so a week later, sis is still like, I'm craving a crab boil. She got her fucking crab boil. I put the order in. And you know what I ate? Because I was like, well, I just can't spend $100 on dinner tonight. I had Jamaican food. A $12.99 brown stew chicken.
So I'll this is one time where I'll be like, what's the takeaways? Y'all hear Dr. L, and y'all like, oh my God, she been a therapist for 20 years and she's still struggling at this, right? Hear me, okay? Hear me. First, start to identify, is this your situation? Are you really rearing a part of privileged, entitled, spoiled kids? Start there.
Okay.
Just ask yourself, be honest with yourself. You don't even got to share with your friends.
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space, right? And then if it is a yes, kind of go through some of these things, right? Making sure that you are not mothering your younger version.
Okay.
Make sure that you are really emphasizing family, the importance of family, like just loving on each other, laughing, watching a movie, having a little popcorn, just fun stuff, right? But also making sure that you are just not making everything about that child or children.
Okay.
Finding some boundaries. Hey, once a month, this is where mom is. I'm unavailable. Contact your godfather, your godmother. I don't care if you're not bleeding or dying. I'm unavailable. And sticking to whatever that boundary that you set. Have conversations. I don't care if it's two. Hey, that's not nice. We don't snatch toys. We share, okay? Because you are not going to be 22 feeling like you could just take from everyone and never give. Start having age-appropriate conversations with these children, because the one thing that Dr. L said that she is sugar today, that Shug said that I agree with, if some of this privilege is byproduct of going to college, taking this trade up, being an entrepreneur, doing your thing out here. Some of these kids are really just getting that. Right. That you've been hustling your ass off as a content creator or got a student, whatever it is, right? And you can't say, all right, well, now I'm just going to move back to the hood and so that my kid could get that kind of exposure. No, right? But you must be intentional and also what you pouring in.
Okay.
Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. Any last thoughts for you?
Be gentle with yourself.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a work in progress. They're a work in progress. We're a work in progress. We learning this thing. It's no handbook really, because it's no handbook, right? So once you identify it, once you notice it, then what the real test is trying to do something about it.
That's it.
And that's it.
You get to make a choice, right? Yes. Everything, the power of choice.
Yes.
I've been doing this. I don't have to be hard on myself, but I can make another choice in the next situation.
Okay.
Thank you for coming and being and listening.
This was good.
This was good.
Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at Real Therapist. Subscribe to our YouTube page at Real Therapist. And if you want to reach out to us, you can DM us or you can email us at realtherapist@gmail.com.
We back.
Peace out.